So I'm going for another video explaining more of these questions. Again, on the first part, all you're doing is checking to see if there's a common difference. So if there is a common difference, then you say, yes, it's arithmetic. If there is no common difference, you obviously say, no, it's not arithmetic because there's no common difference. So on number 3, there is a common difference. The D is equal to 3. Now, not only is it important to know that the D is 3, but you need to know how to do or how to find D. You got to pick a number, 10, and then subtract the number right before it. So 10 take away 7. That gives you 3. Or you could do this one, 13, take away 10. That'll also give you 3. Or you could say 16, take away 13. Right? 16, take away 13. That also gives you 3. So as you can see, all the differences are common. So the D is 3. So what do we say? We say, yes, it's arithmetic. Why? Because it has a common difference, 3. Is there a common difference on this one?
No common.
Like, again, let's set it up. You're going to say negative 5 minus negative 6. Negative 5 minus negative 6. That becomes 1, right? But if you try the next one over here, if you go negative 3 minus negative 5, negative 3 minus negative 5, that doesn't give you a difference of 1. That's actually 2. So right there, difference is 1, difference is 2. There is no common difference, so you say no, because there's no common difference. It's not arithmetic because there's no common difference. So that first part is really easy. All you're doing is checking to see if there's a common difference in all of your terms. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Should we do another one on that first part?
Yeah.
Pick one. Number 5? I don't know, is it?
No, yeah, it is.
So on number 5, if you want to find the common difference, you have to take a number like negative 3 and then subtract the number right before it, which in this case is negative 5. If you did the subtraction, it becomes addition. Negative 3 plus 5, that's 2. Let's do the next pair of numbers like negative 1. There's negative 1. Subtract the number right before it. Subtract the negative 3 that's right before it. That becomes 2 as well. Or this next one, how about positive 1, subtract, there's positive 1, subtract the number right before it, which is negative 1. That becomes also 2 right there. So as you could see, it is a common difference, 2, 2, 2. The common difference is 2. So the common difference is 2, which means that this sequence really is arithmetic. So you say yes, because it has a common difference of 2. It is arithmetic. Now the next section, that's where it says find the next 3 terms. Now in the previous video I explained number 9. Let's move on to, which one would you guys like to do? Let's move on to number 12. So the first thing to do is to identify your common difference. The common difference will be taking any number you want and subtracting the one before it, because they tell you it's arithmetic, so there is going to be a common difference. You don't have to verify that it is common. You already know it's going to be common because they tell you it's arithmetic. So you could pick negative 8 and then subtract negative 5 from it. So let me write that down. Negative 8 and then subtract negative 5 from it. So we could clearly see that the common difference, D, equals negative 3. That's a common difference. So once you identify your common difference, and you didn't have to use negative 8 and 5, you could have done negative 5 and negative 2. You could have done negative 11 minus a negative 8. It would all give you a common difference, negative 3. But once you know that your common difference is negative 3, and it's a good idea to practice by saying, this is my first number, I'm going to call it a sub 1. Second number, call it a sub 2. That's a notation. A sub 3, a sub 4. They want the next 3 terms. So the appropriate notation would be to say, I'm going to find a sub 5. That's the 5th number. I'm going to find a sub 6. That's the 6th number. And a sub 7. That's the 7th number. Okay. Now remember, the difference is negative 3. So if they're asking just for the next three numbers, you might as well just continue with the difference of minus 3. So negative 11 minus 3. What's negative 11 minus 3? Negative 14, right? Negative 14, that's the fifth number. And then negative 14 minus 3 is negative 17. That's the sixth number. And then negative 7 minus 3, that's negative 20. So we found the next three numbers. As you could see, it was not necessary for us to find the general rule. Remember the general rule? It's a sub n equals a sub 1 plus parenthesis n minus 1 times a common difference d. We could have plugged in our a sub 1 value of negative 2, and we could have put plus parenthesis n minus 1 times the common difference negative 3. The common difference is negative 3, so you could have put a times negative 3 right there, and you could have came up with the general rule a sub n equals, and you distribute negative 3 times n is negative 3n, negative 3 times negative 1, that's positive 3, and of course there's a plus negative 2 out in front, and you could combine the terms that are alike, the negative 2 plus 3, that's positive 1. So your a sub nth term equals negative 3n plus 1. They did not ask us to make an equation that produces this sequence, but this is the equation that produces this sequence. So I did this for fun, just to show you that if I did want my fifth term, I could have used this instead. Plug in a 5 right in here. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15, plus 1, that's negative 14. Or if you wanted your seventh term, you could plug in a 7 right there. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21, plus 1 is negative 20. But the easier thing to do when they say for the next three numbers is just to use your common difference, which is subtracting 3. So 11 minus 3 is negative 14, minus 3 is negative 17, minus 3 is negative 20. So down here, they want you to write the equation. Down here, it says write the equation for the nth term. So on number 17, we wrote the equation. On number 18, you have to write the equation. So let's do number 18. Let's write the general rule for number 18. First of all, we could start labeling things. Your a sub 1 term is 30, a sub 2 is 26, a sub 3, a sub 4. Now they want the general rule. In order to apply the general rule, a sub n equals a sub 1 plus parenthesis n minus 1 times a common difference d, you need to know your a sub 1 term and plug it in right there. And you also need to know your d, so you can plug it in right here. But what is d? We don't know d yet. So how do we find the common difference d? Pick a number and subtract the one before it, right? I know you guys are saying, oh, I already know what my common difference is, right? It's 4. But don't do it in your head. Actually write it out. Pick a number out of the list.
26.
26. And now let's write down the d is going to be 26 minus the number right before it, 30. So if you actually do that math, 26 minus 30, it's negative 4. And that's what the common difference is negative 4. Don't just say 4. If you just say 4, it's going to be wrong. I'll tell you why. Because if you just say 4, when you distribute 4 times n is 4n, when you really need a negative 4 right here, negative 4 times n is negative 4n. So it's very important that we understand. That's why I said don't use your head. Actually do a subtraction problem. 26, take away 30, is negative 4. That's why the d is negative 4. Okay, so now we plug in our values. So here's the rule. A sub n equals a sub 1 is 30, and then plus parenthesis n minus 1 times the common difference, which is negative 4. Now that's the rule. That is the machine that produces the list. However, let's distribute so we can make it nicer. We're going to simplify. Negative 4 times n, negative 4n. Negative 4 times negative 1, positive 4. I'm going to bring down the 30. I have 3 terms right there in red. All I'm going to do is combine like terms. 30 plus 4. What's 30 plus 4? 34. So my final a sub nth rule is negative 4n plus 34. That's my final rule right there. Now, once again, let's say you're not too sure. Let's say, okay, I think I did this right, but you're not too sure about yourself. What could you do to double check? You could pick any one of these numbers. You want to check the fourth number? Let's check the fourth number. That's the 8 sub 4 is really 18. So if I said a sub 4, what is it? It has to be 18. Now, a sub 4, that means that n is 4. So that means that here is a 4. So you really have negative 4 times 4. What's negative 4 times 4? Negative 16. Now, negative 16 plus 34, if you do it on the calculator, it is 18. So you verified that it actually works. Now, let's say you wanted to check your first term. All right, then, a sub 1, which means that n is 1. So plug in a 1 right there. What's negative 4 times 1? Negative 4. What's negative 4 plus 34? Negative 30. And as you could see, a sub 1 really is negative 30, so you verified that this is the correct rule. Now that rule is awesome because it'll let you answer any question with regards to this list. This list, I could ask you, what's the 53rd term if I wanted to? I could say, what is a sub 53? And all you have to do is plug in negative 4 times 53 and then plus 34. You plug in the number 53 into your n, right into here, and you'll be able to get the 53rd term. I'm not going to actually go through that, but with the calculator, it's pretty easy. Now, in addition to that, they do want you to graph your equation down here. So, you could think of this as y equals mx plus b, or you could just think of the coordinates. My first term, a sub 1 is 30. So here's 0, here's my first term. This is like a sub 1, and that would be 30. So you put a dot right there. A sub 1 is 30. A sub 2 is 26. So a sub 2 is 25, 26, a little bit more than 25. So you put your dot right there. A sub 3 is 22. So a sub 1, 2, 3 is 22, a little bit more right there. And you should end up with a linear equation, which you do. A sub 4 is 18. So if you go a sub 1, 2, 3, 4, you go up to 18, it's right there. Now, let's say we wanted a sub 5. Well, then you're actually going to have to plug in 5 right into here. So let me actually write out my work here. A sub 5 is going to be negative 4 times 5 plus 34. So negative 4 times 5, that's negative 20. So a sub 5 is negative 20 plus 34. What's negative 20 plus 34? Positive 14. So a sub 5 really is 14. So if I do go out to my fifth a sub 5 term, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go up to 14, I put a dot right there. Okay? 14, a sub 5. You know what? I forgot to graph the a sub 4. A sub 4 is 18, so go up to 18, 15, 18 would be right there. And of course, you do get a straight line right through those dots. You're done. So on the final exam, there's going to be no graphing, but I do want to show you how to do this on the homework. Any other questions you'd like to do? 16? Sure, why not? Let's look at 16 because it has decimals. So we already know it's arithmetic because the instructions say that it's arithmetic, and they want us to find the next 3 terms. So how do you find the common difference? You simply take a number, pick a number, 4.1, and subtract the one before it. So you're going to have 4.1, we're going to have minus the one right before it, which is 3.1. So what is 4.1 take away 3.1? 4.1 take away 3.1 on a calculator. Or how about this? What's $4.10 take away $3.10? $1. 4 take away 3 is 1, gentlemen and ladies. So our common difference really is 1. Okay? So if you wanted your next 3 terms, here's your a sub 1 term, your a sub 2, your a sub 3, your a sub 4. If you wanted your a sub 5, what would it be? 7.1. Yeah. How about a sub 6? 8.1. A sub 7? 9.1. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.